Real quick follow-up video to the random number generation video. I mentioned the fact that when a computer generates numbers, it's really generating pseudo-random numbers. And sometimes when you're generating a sequence of random numbers in a computer program and you're debugging it or you're making sure it works the way you want a bunch of random numbers, but every time you run the program, you want those random numbers to be the same random numbers as they were the last time. And you might say, that's not random. But stick with me for a minute and let's see how this works. So this is just the part of the last program where we generate numbers from 1 to 6. Okay, so we create our new random object, an object of the random class, and we just call it a bunch of times. And we call it with the argument 5, which generates random numbers from 0 to 5. And then we add 1, which generates numbers from 1 to 6. Okay, let's make sure that works. Oh, is that going to work? Or should it be 0 to 6? I think it should be 0 to 6, right? Because it doesn't include that last number. See, we don't get any 6s. So let's fix that. If we want to simulate a die, we need to generate numbers from 0 to 6, which generates numbers from... why do they do it this way? If we put a 6 here, it generates numbers from 0 to 5, and it doesn't include the 6. But then when we add 1, it gives us numbers from 1 to 6. Is that right? It's been a long week. Let's run this and make sure it works. There we go. 6, 2, 5, 2, 5, 1, 4, 2, 4, 6, 4. Let's do fewer of them. Let's just do 5 of them. 4, 1, 1, 6, 5. So we're getting our 1s, we're getting our 6s, we're not getting any 7s, we're not getting our 0s. We did it right. And those are random, I guess. But suppose for whatever reason I'm debugging a program and I want to make sure that when the result changes, it's not because the random numbers changed. It's because what I did to the code changed them. And so I wanted to generate the same sequence of random numbers every time. I add what's called a seed to the place where I create my random object. I'm just going to give it a number here. I'm going to give it the seed 12. That just means that whatever magic it is doing to generate its pseudo-random numbers, it always starts with the number 12 in that magic algorithm, so that every time it generates random numbers, they will be the same. Let's make sure that that works. Okay, I'm going to run it. And the random numbers I get are 1, 3, 5, 2, 5. Let me run it again. 1, 3, 5, 2, 5. Let me run it again. 1, 3, 5, 2, 5. So my random numbers, or pseudo-random numbers, are always the same because I'm always starting whatever algorithm is happening inside the random class with the same seed to grow those random numbers. If I change this to 11, I will get a different sequence of random numbers, 1, 3, 4, 4, 4. And if I run it again with the seed of 11, I get 1, 3, 4, 4, 4. Okay. So if you give it nothing, it picks the seed, and the numbers are always different. 3, 3, 4, 4, 6. 2, 3, 2, 2, 4. 2, 5, 6, 2, 1. But if I give it a seed to always start from, 678. 26322, 26322, 26322. So you can use this as a way to create a sequence of pseudo-random numbers that will be the same every time you generate it. And again, sometimes that's useful when you're debugging a program. And just because I mentioned that in the last video, I wanted to show you guys how that works. Yeah, so that's how you seed a sequence of random numbers to always give you the same random numbers.